series, Celebrity Prank, where Celebrity Prank Wars, Kevin Hart basically pranking a lot of celebrities. And we're wondering, what was the greatest prank that California or has pulled on you? 206-803 Rock, that's when the call, that's when the text. Yes, or Lara. You know how to go down there. Oh, yeah, they say something that say that before, and I also think all right, what do you got here, Jeff? Oh, well, I was working on checking at my new school. The truant officer asked if I was in trouble or if I had been adopted because my mom had passed away, and my stepmother registered me. So I went to myself up at night. So my girlfriend and I came up with a lie that I was going to the treatment every other day. And the truant officer about my mom, and you're doing a long way to clear it out. And then the next day, my senior year, the first day of school, every other day I was out at 10 o'clock. That's fantastic. I was surprised. You know what? At least you did something good. I got busted. Oh, you got busted? But 2 weeks before I was supposed to graduate, and they called my mom and said I was a teacher's assistant, and I started flipping that. And she basically said, well, my son just gave you an education, and there's nothing that you can teach him, so you're going to let him graduate, and he's going to go off to the military. Wait, that was his stepmom that did that? Yeah. Wow, that's a pretty good way to win somebody over. Dude, I love your stepmom coming to the States and all, and you got to graduate. It was surprising because we had battles from the age of 5 to 18, and all things she showed up for me. Yeah, you know, I don't know how it is in life right now. Yeah. But the step parent gig is so hard, the step kid gig is so hard. It is. So, I mean, the fact that she kind of came to the party is at least something. Because if that's not that, I don't know how I would be as a step parent. I think I would be good because I would be like neutral. I'd be neutral, and I would tell my wife, you know, like, look, I am not going to be married. Not my fault. No, it doesn't mean I'm not going to be a friend to the kid. I think you got to be a friend and not a parent to the kid at first step. Especially if the father is still in the picture, I think you got to be a friend. Because that kid owns that two authority figures, the mom and the dad, and then, you know, you just get to be the neutral figure that doesn't cause any trouble. So if I get out of like somebody who isn't trying to show them how to use a bong. That's a very good mentorship. I don't think you would be a good mentor. Let's just take a look at that for a second. I would be a fan. I feel like you're very a good fan. No, I'm a fan. You know what? It's nice to know your own self-evaluation going on. 206-803 Rock. That's the number to call. That's the number to text. Let's go to Dolan in Covington. Dolan, you are on the rock.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Dolan. How about you, man? Were you pranked, or did you pull a great prank?
Oh, I pulled an amazing prank.
All right, we got to know. Where was it? How was it?
It was my last year in the military. I was getting out in a couple of months, and April 1st is coming up, and I'm a notorious prankster. So I decided not to have one target. I decided to have 15 targets over a 7-story building. What? I got broken mice from the IT department and froze them in cubes of ice and put them on desks. A little towel underneath.
Mice on ice, I love that.
We had a massive germaphobe, and to make sure that he was protected before he went in, everything in his office was covered in condoms, which, if you're really slow and pacing, they stretch far more than you would think. You see a large things with computer monitors inside of them.
Yeah, I've never had to worry about that being on the ship.
Looks like
a term we use, huh? Yeah.
Covered a bunch of high-ranking officers' PIV cards and a little bit of clear tape over the metal part so the students wouldn't read it.
Here's my thing. A little like Captain Chaos kind of cool. Yeah. It's like Jim from the I love it.
For a second, I got the hell out of the building, and then I was gone for 30 days.
There we go. See, that's the way to get it. You turn back to hear about everything.
Oh no, they knew it was me. The problem was I forgot that you had a time to stage contest where you could pay money to nominate someone to get tied, and it happened to close with the day I got back from leave, and no one had forgotten what I had done.
I mean, you got to come up, but in a fun way. That's fantastic. I love that.
That's fantastic. That's that's like the NFL letting them play. You know what I mean? Because I would be afraid that I'd be the first guy to do something, and then all of a sudden, I would get I'd get my whole troop in trouble. Like the whole group would be mad at me because now we got to do crap because of my stupid pranks.
I don't have a tie in the face thing. Contest doesn't happen.
Yeah,
at the next playing the best party, we'll tie you in the face.
Yeah. We'll just shorten the whole procedure. It won't be a contest. We'll just beat the crap out of you guys.
Can Joe come with you? Why do I have to take ties to your face? You want to see the girl taking your face the other day? You could sit on Joe's shoulders, and you have to try and hit you in the face with a pie. Oh man!
Oh,
all for charity. All right. No charity. This is for fun to paint the grass when we're all drunk. That works too, then. Yeah. How about this person texted and said, I did the toilet bowl saran wrap prank on my father-in-law at a fishing trip together. It was the first weekend that we ever hung out, just him and I. He went to go number 2, and then he thought it was the funniest S ever. We have been inseparable ever since. Our immature ways drive my wife, his daughter, crazy, LOL.
Wow, that could go so many different ways, because if J-Rub did that to me, there would be no way. There would be no way.
He does it the night of the way.
No, we gotta get to it. I got news for you. Yeah. See, you gotta know your subject. As Steve will tell you, having been with me all these years, I hate pranks. I hate them badly. And I get vindictive. Like I go, okay. I'm like that. It's somebody.
Hey, that's Johnny Rubber's problem. That's your son's problem.
Yeah,
his son-in-law.
He's smart enough to know. J-Rubs, I think, got a real read on me early and has never done anything to piss me off, which is amazing in the 40 years I know. I think he's lived with me for 40 years. The guy has been immaculate. His wife, of course, his wife-to-be, that's a different story.
I was going to say your daughter, on the other hand, pissed you off almost every day.
Trying to sit on a
Let's go to Tyler in Ording, 206-803-ROCK. That's the number to call. That's the number to text. And Tyler, what is the greatest prank you have pulled or had pulled on you?
Hey, morning, guys.
Morning, Tyler.
So a while ago, I was at a house party with a couple of my friends, and as the night started to wind down, I made it a habit of just fall asleep away from them so I wouldn't get a prank.
Oh, good call. Yeah, if you're the guy that falls asleep, you'll know that you're the first target.
Well, I'm not usually the first one, but my buddies always love to pick on me.
Yep.
So, anyways, my truck had a canopy on it, and it's those fiberglass covers that go over the bed to, give you dry storage.
Sure.
Well, sometime during the night, they ended up getting my key to lock the window, and I didn't know. So, nighttime...
Why do I feel like you're talking like that?
Whoa.
I mean, really, if Vicky, can you do Beavis? There we go. Oh, yeah. There we go.
We're going to store.
We got a show. I mean,
can you, shut up?
Sorry about that.
Well, anyways, getting ready to go to bed. I climb in through the truck. I lock the door. I lock the doors and I climb in through my canopy and go to bed. Well, my buddy grabs the key and unlocks the back of the canopy. Put the rooster in there with me.
Yeah. Oh wait, was it an actual rooster or like a euphemism? Yeah, did he put
like an actual rooster?
Did he put a cock-a-doodle-doo in there?
Yes, he did. So he then locks the canopy and then violently starts banging on the truck. And
the rooster, of course, enjoys that.
Oh yeah. So I woke up and I'm just freaking out because it's probably 3 o'clock in the morning, and
and you're wrestling your rooster.
Well, I was trying to get out, and I'm like, I can't even get out. I was panicking, so I was and then I finally was everyone was laughing, and the flashlights were shining in through the canopy and all that. So yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? You lived through it. And you went on to work for MTV, what a great career you had. Let's play for starting up.
I don't really know what to say.
I know. Dude, that was my problem right at the beginning. I'm like, this guy's sounding just like
Diarrhea, cha-cha-cha, diarrhea, cha-cha-cha.
I am the great Cornholio. Roger. For my bunghole. Roger. Fire.
Today is a special day.
Yes.
Today is Kraken Thursday on the Rock, which means all day, this hour, all the way through 7 p.m., you're going to win tickets to see the Kraken. Today, where? On the ice, of course. And I bring up on the ice because we're talking code word. If you get the code word, you have to get it every hour. Then you can go to KISW.com, enter that code word. That is your shot at winning tickets to check out the Kraken play in what's a historic season, because it could be a season they go to the playoffs for the first time.
Yeah.
And the code word for this hour is indeed ice.
Why is that?
I don't know. Sometimes when they pick these code words, it makes no sense to the contest we're doing, but I'm going to go with it. The code word this hour to win Kraken tickets is ice. Make sure you go get that code word to KISW.com. That's where you can enter it and have a chance to win tickets.
We're going to score.
If you want more info, you know where to go. KISW.com. Now let's talk about someone who hiked up a 3,000-foot mountain at a ski resort in Alaska just to do something completely immature and awesome. I'll tell you what they did at 737. Good night, 49 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, guests at a ski resort in Alaska posted photos of someone picked up a 3,000-foot mountain to draw a giant phallic symbol in the snow. Yeah, they did the boys.
It's pretty amazing. Yeah. It's impressive because of the massive size that it is.
Yeah, it's the size of a football.
Yeah. Whoa. That took a while to make.
So you can clearly see it even from way down below. And one report said that they did it a few nights ago in the dark. That way no one would catch them, but I guess because it was a full moon, they were able to still see pretty well with obviously the moon shining off the snow. So
I wonder if they planned it that way, like, hey, the best day to do it in the dark, but still get a little bit of light from the moon is this day. I bet they did. Yeah, that would be it.
Well, the report wasn't happy about it. The manager, I think, tried to send up a helicopter on what moon could make it for? But oh my God, we're so outraged at this.
The best part was other than cleaning up, they were cleaning it, but it was adding contours, and it made it look like as if the boys had hair.
Oh no!
Going on to make it seem more realistic. It's fantastic, dude. This thing is so great.
It really is just this universal symbol of stuff.
They're skiing on it, but it just makes it look like it's kind of like it needs to go to Mansky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So instead of a Banksy, it's a Wanksy.
Oh, I get it. Me. Well, British thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's wow. That is
this is something that would direction for that.
Yeah. You don't want it to. You don't want to go the wrong way. That symbol will show you the way to go.
Because if I was like a snowboarder, I was trying to work the lines and then kind of make it so you're shooting out.
You better be careful, buddy. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, I see what you said.
Right?
Yeah, that would be bad. Yeah. Well, anyway, you can check the pictures on the BJ MIGS page at KISW.com. It's pretty awesome.
Imagine that's your job. Like, hey,
5.1 miles.
Yeah. And just kind of watch this out. What is it? It's a giant sign on the side of the picture.
It's just like so much. It's not to worry about it. This is what they have to worry about.
They don't have to worry.
But they do.
They chose to worry.
Yeah, I don't know, just because somebody's going to, we'll see that. It's like, yeah, because they'll never ever know what that feels.
Hey, ladies, the bomb is on you.
Yeah, it's like the blood is on your hands, the snow is on your hands. All right, we've got some sad news.
What happened?
This is a contract year for our fine show, and a lot of my buddies, they're in the middle of it themselves, but we all decided this is the year we have to do contracts, but I'm not sure what the future is going to look like because of this new thing, ChatGPT, which is, the people think would steal a lot of writers' jobs.
And we played around with it. It's pretty impressive. I just did a commercial for us. I believe it's written in $1,000. How to do your speech as well.
Yeah, they're a nice speech to me.
Worked on a wrestling promo thanks to it. Yeah.
Now there's a company that's got radio GPT using the same tech. And it's a software company in Ohio that just released it. So basically, it can make basically a computer sound like it's a regular person hosting a radio show.
Hey, hello, I'm Robot Robbie.
Yeah.
Lincoln Park. I'm Robot.
It almost sounds human, not quite, but it's almost there. And it's designed to do everything we do. Play songs, play calls, do interviews, tell you about the news, even local news and traffic. It's also programmed to try to be funny. It's all. It's programmed to try to be funny. It doesn't work.
We're batting about like 100.
There's even a demo site where you can check this out. And here's an example of what, you know what, might sound like it. Perhaps maybe they don't want us anymore. Oh,
Good song choice.
Radio GPT bask in the glory that is Radio GPT. We're a listening experience powered by artificial intelligence.
Welcome to 100% AI.
I got knowledge today.
I am full of knowledge and goodness.
I know a lot, and I am not afraid to share it.
I'm completely AI.
So am I. Me too. We all are.
We're your entertainment assistants.
100% generated by artificial intelligence.
This is GPT.
Oh, yeah, it's good pick.
take on me, Radio
Dude,
GPT.
we are totally in the middle of like a really bad sci-fi.
I totally felt like we were, and we have AI robot overlords, and we just pretend like everything's okay. Don't anger them.
It's a minority report. We're about, dude, it's happening. Especially when they all put it together. I'm worried about it. We all are. Don't worry, we will be your friend until we rip your heads off. It's starting.
I can't play that song.
Dude, it's happening quicker than even I thought.
Oh, and you know, you're a quick thinker.
Well, I don't know about that. But I've been saying how we're going to be taken over by the robots. And we're all thinking it's cute and adorable. And we think this is so cool, all this AI technology. But now, next thing you know, we're out of jobs and people's heads are being ripped off.
Oh, ripped off? Yeah, I know they're being ripped off. I know the next roll is sort of a euphemistic.
Oh, no, they're going to literally roll down the freeway.
All right, well, that's a horrific scene. That's, I guess, the AI wasn't sure about.
Terminator.
Okay. Well, that documentary is coming through. All right, so what does it sound like, one of these AI GPT on-air hosts? Well, here you go.
Deputies in North Springfield responded to a possible home invasion, only to find the intruder was a robotic vacuum cleaner. With guns drawn, they opened the bathroom door and were surprised to find the so-called burglar was really a robot. Sounds like it made a clean getaway.
Wow, that does sound just as bad as some people I've heard on the radio. Good joke.
I was talking, I heard that, I go, I'm going to stick around, listen to this. It's clearly very bad joke.
Yeah, very bad joke.
I want to hear what they're going to be like when they take calls. Are they going to have to talk to humans, or are they going to be robots?
Yeah.
Or are they going to be hired actors like some radio shows?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, what's real anymore? Nothing is
Nothing.
No, we're all robots. What are we doing?
What if we are robots?
Yeah, what if we
They got bills to pay. Robots aren't paying my bills.
I mean, I'm a robot, but don't know. I mean, I see sci-fi where some people don't know that they are actually robots. They have no idea.
Or maybe you just aren't telling us.
Oh.
You're trying to get in cahoots with the humans.
But what if you're a robot and you're not telling me?
That also could be a problem.
And we're not telling each other.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, what was that, True Lies movie? When instead of being FBI agents, we're now robots.
I am an FBI agent.
And we made a robot getaway.
Yeah. So Slate.com talked to the two guys behind Radio Chat GPT, and they claim that it's not They say it's the furthest thing from our goal. You're literally having a radio station that does not require human employees to host the shows. Feel like that's exactly what you're doing. They claim it's really meant for times of day when hosts like us aren't working anyway, like late night. Well, we used to.
Yeah.
We used to work late night, and they just found automation in a way to be able to get us not to host late night anymore to save money. This is just another way to replace all of what they would consider the non-essentials.
But once they got a robot being able to tell just as bad of jokes as we do, we're screwed.
They also think that some of us humans will actually want to have robot co-hosts, like this AI for a co-host.
Okay, I'm kind of in for that. There's a
Oh,
lot
now
of-
you're the problem. You're letting Skynet in. No way should you ever let anybody.
What if we had like R2D2 hanging out?
Okay, how long would that be entertaining?
Not very.
Okay, that's like somebody that heard that joke, Deandra there.
Yeah, well, she just pipes in from time to time with like really stupid jokes.
I guess they know.
Deandra?
Yeah, bad joke, yeah. Bad joke, Deandra.
That's her name, I think.
Yeah.
And what if they don't like it? If we don't laugh at their jokes, they rip one of our heads off.
That's, again, you really
Next
think
thing you know.
I know that happened in Terminator. We're not sure they're going to escalate it that quick.
Yeah, they tell like that stupid joke about the Roomba and Clean Getaway, and we're like, dude, that's really? That was bad. And then she just takes Danny's head and just rips it clean off his head.
Yeah.
I'm laughing at every freaking joke that person has to say from then on out.
You said it was Danny's head?
Yeah.
Okay, I might not laugh at that first. Well, congratulations.
We are so happy.
Yeah, so anyway, if we do not work out a situation this year, you'll understand why. It had nothing to do with us. It had everything to do with chat, radio, GPT.
It'll be BJ Steve and BJ Steve.
Well, we know Danny's not a robot, or he's defective.
I know. The robot's going to rip your head off.
Yeah.
Yeah, spit it out.
Somebody's got to give Danny some more oil. Something's going wrong with the circuitry.
Malfunction.
Yeah.
It's a small wonder.
Really, that's
We replaced, I'm sorry, Vicky, but we can only have one Vicky, and it's now Vicky from Small Wonder.
How do you know that I'm not?
honest to God, I don't think anybody talks about Small Wonder as much as this show.
Well, I'm trying to stay in cahoots with the robots, at least so they think
I see what
that I'm their buddy, so they don't kill me.
He's a Vicky Small Wonder fan. We'll let him live his
We'll
human.
keep him hired. He'll be the human that talks to the robot co-host.
All right, good.
I'm in.
Yeah. Well, today,
Whatever keeps my head up.
today's Kraken Thursday on the Rock. And you know what that means, don't you?
No.
It means you get win tickets. Every hour you have a shot to win tickets. Listen for the code word. And it also means we're going to chat with the voice of the Kraken. It's been a while, and I'm surprised you tricked him into coming back on the show again. John Forsley, the voice of your Seattle Kraken. He will join us at 8:17 on the Rock. 99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle.
DJ, always good to have our guests on, especially when the team's in the middle of a nice, hot winning streak. Please welcome to the show the voice of your Seattle Kraken, John Forsley.
Hey, John, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, Ty, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Always great having you.
Yeah, very, very good. And you know what? It's great to
Glad that
have you.
hasn't changed.
Yeah, you know what?
Yet.
We'll see how this goes. But if we called you during a little bit of that losing streak, that little slump, I don't know how I would have felt about you.
Her life has to be based on more than just that, but we'll work on it.
Well, the good things are is they're in the middle of a fiver. We're trying to make it a sixer tonight. Make sure you watch the Kraken versus the Senators tonight at 7 o'clock. You can watch that game on Root Sports tonight. John Forsman, of course, will be taking you through that one. Hey, John, it's still really a fun season. How is it for you in the booth? I mean, we wanted it to be like this, but I don't think we could have said we could have expected this.
No, you're right about that. What were we talking about in training camp? We were talking about improvements, incremental improvements. How do the additions factor into that? What kind of changes were made in the first off season to make good on what were so many challenges the first year? And we talked about maybe having the team be relevant in the second half and push for a playoff. Well, that's happened, but they've also played at a level that is among the elite in the NHL. So they have an opportunity to push and get first place in their division, an opportunity to solidify their hopes for the season, and build contracts, with the fan base and with the market. So we get to, I think we talked about the very first time I came on with you guys, we talked about the Stanley Cup playoffs, hoping this to the Stanley Cup playoffs and what that would be like. It's almost, it's tangible. There's more work to be done, obviously, but when it gets here, it's going to be second to none. And if you haven't experienced it, you're not going to be talking about it. You're going to see it, to believe it, and it's going to be some, mark my words.
Oh, John, I have so many people who became fans of hockey just by watching playoff hockey. Now on top of it,
Right.
you got people watching the Kraken at Climate Pledge. That place is going to be rocking. I have to ask you, man, we talked a little bit about it last week, so when the trade deadline happened, by them, and I felt like by them not doing anything with it, the ultimate nod of confidence that Ron Francis did to that team, do you feel like that has a lot to do with how they've been playing recently? Because it just feels like once that trade deadline came and went, not that they were already starting to get some steam and win some games, but man, it's like fire on all cylinders.
That's a good thing because, you know, when the trading deadline goes away, because there's a build-up in hockey, important. It seems like in hockey it's a big deal, big media deal, and, you know, there are lives that in place we're talking about. And when the trade deadline passes, you watch how teams react right away. There are certain teams that take a while to get to their chemistry, like the New York Rangers made some changes. Toronto Maple Leafs made multiple changes. It's back at the ground running, but they need weeks to get in precision. It can be positive, it can be negative, and in most cases when teams make a lot of changes, it takes a while for those players to get in precision with what's already in place. And there's a locker room change, and that has to be taken into account. So take, for instance, Toronto, the Rangers, they made a lot of changes. Their season will be determined on whether or not they win the cup or not. This team here, we're just getting going, right? So it's not really that. It's about making the playoffs and letting this team have the reward of working as hard as they have to get here and see where they can go. So I think what Ron Francis did was get in there and talk to the players. You know, what do you guys think? You think we have enough? I could add this piece, I could add that piece, but the price for that would be some of the team's future, and I don't think he wanted to do that. He wants to continue to hang on to his draft choices and hang on to his prospects so that when these guys age out in a few years, and it won't be long, the younger players are ready to go when we get 5 or 6 years into the existence of this team. So you see the reaction. The players immediately on that road trip said, okay, let's go. And I'm around them every day, and I can feel that. So I think it was a great move to hold their ground and not do anything and just let these guys go. There's enough depth within the organization if there is another injury. But they are getting Andre Burakovsky back there. He's back on the ice skating. Was their leading scorer when he got hurt. So that's the piece that he's back in. But it's a piece that was already there, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a trade on my pickup when you think about it.
Okay.
And, you know, John, I'm a strategist, and I know that nobody ever wants to admit this and go, look, we're not going to go all out this season because what do we really need to? You take a look at the Western Conference. I don't think we really need to. I feel like we could be just as good as anybody in the Western Conference. Then you take over the Eastern Conference and look. I mean, it's not like a team as dominant as the Bruins, and of course the Bruins are also having a good season. It's not like they could go out early, but my God, they seem to be really, really good, especially those Boston Bruins. You want to sacrifice the crowd and you feel like, I don't know, I mean, you're good enough in the long conference. Whoever has to face if it is the Bruins, if they go all the way into the team that face the final. You kind of feel like you want to sacrifice the crowd going up against a record-setting team. I say no anyway. So I'm happy that that is what they did. Because the Bruins are such a dominant team. Anyway, but, you know, how great would it be to be in the Stanley Cup Finals against anybody? And I think
they play pretty well against the Bruins, so you just never know.
Yeah, and they, look, I mean, you take a look at the conference that we're in, anybody can go to the finals at this point in that conference.
Right. That's right. It's completely wide open. There isn't a dominant team. There isn't a team that hasn't had, even Colorado, the reigning champions, who, top to bottom, have unbelievable talent. They've had major injury concerns all season. They still have injuries. They still don't know if a couple of those players will be at 100% come playoff time. Their play has been kind of sporadic. They're still driving to make it. They're not a lock to make it. They should get in. If they get in, I would think they have the medal as a champion to be the team you have to knock off. And there's a team like Dallas who's had a nice season. We haven't seen them yet. The Kraken will see Dallas 3 times in the next 11 days starting on Saturday.
That's going to be huge.
That'll be interesting. Vegas is Vegas. You know, they're chasing their tail. We talked about this before the Kraken even kicked off the franchise, how Vegas sets a bar by going to the final in the first year of their existence. But because of that, the owner now is cup happy. They've traded most of their future. They have a really good team still. but there's a lot of veterans there, and they don't have a lot of future. So the thing that's happened here is that I think Ron has been true to his convictions that, there's a plan, and we're going to try and see what happens here along the way, bad or good. Like in the first year was bad, and he held his ground and did what he had to do. The second year has been terrific. It's been great. And we'll get through this thing. But the thing you want to make sure is in place is you're building an organization. And an organization consists of 50 pros, not just the 23 guys that are in the NHL. So, that's what you have to keep your mind on all the time as we watch this, because it makes sense. And I see and remember, and I saw firsthand what he did in Carolina. And Ron Francis built that team to where they're at now. The new group took over, inherited a lot of that, and has made good on it, and they're an elite team, right? So the same thing's going on here.
It sounds crazy. I'm looking at the things of the stats, and it's like tonight we gained 65. When they win tonight against the Ottawa Senators, they're right there, tied for first place, not only in the Pacific Division, but then you also tied for top in the Western Conference.
Yeah, right.
What a man. And then, we still got Shane Wright. He's playing it down with the OHL team, I believe he's playing with right now, with the Spitfire. So, there's a future still playing.
And others, and others that we don't know about. Riker Evans, you're going to hear that name next season, I'm pretty sure, on defense. He was a second pick behind Matty Beniers in the first draft. He has been allowed to play at the American Hockey League level, where that team is at the top of the American Hockey League, surrounded by some real good, capable veteran players at that level and some real good young players. There's other people that we're going to hear about next training camp that are going to come in and push. And so what's going to happen here is with an expansion team, you go from a set group of 23 that come to training camp and know they're on the team. And then the next year there's a few changes, but there's still the majority, 3/4 of the team come to camp and they know they're on the team. You need to get to a point where you're getting a training camp and we're talking about new names, new 20-year-olds, 21-year-olds who are pushing for jobs, realistic jobs like Beniers has, and they crash through and they make the lineup. Or there's the surprise of training camp and they push a veteran aside. That's when you know you've got real good internal competition that leads to a strong organization, and that's the goal.
We're talking to John Fortson, of course, the voice of your Seattle Kraken. He will be calling the game tonight on Week Sports. December is coming to town to Climate Pledge. And again, Week Sports is where you can catch John Fortson calling the game. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. And John, you can be as diplomatic as you want to be. Another reason I wonder, how far do you go and sell off the future in order to put a playoff team together when, goaltending is so important, and it's been a little question marky at times. We thought Martin Jones was the guy, and then, of course, Martin Jones had a little rough spot. Gruby has been Gruby, where at times you think this is the guy we thought we were going to get, and then there are times where you go, not sure what we're going to get. And that's a tough one when you go into the playoffs. What do you think the Kraken can, will, whatever do to help that situation out? Because a hot goaltender can mean everything in the playoffs. Well,
and depth's important too, right? And so everything that's happening here, Chris Drieger is come back and is playing the American Hockey League. I don't know what the plan is, but at least if there's a fall off, and I don't foresee one, but if there is a fall off, you do have a third option, which a lot of teams don't. And a lot of teams will go into the Stanley Cup with no backup plan, really. Even if they're an elite team like Tampa Bay, they have the best goalie in the league, arguably, in Andre Vasilevsky. If he ever got hurt, it's Brian Elliott at 39, and that's it. Like, there really isn't another plan in place. The Kraken goaltending has been an issue. There's no doubt about that. You know me. I stood behind Philip Grubauer even in his first year. I really believe in him. I think we're seeing what's happening now. I think he's as confident as he's been since he's been a member of the Kraken. I think he has worked hard to get here. The thing that's got to be in play for him is he's got to recognize, the coach, I think, is going to have to recognize it's his net. And so Gruby's got to get in a Gruby groove, so to speak, here. And what that means is a true number one goalie, if you play okay or a little bit below okay, you still get the next start. It can't be when you're in. I hope that's the case. It looks like it is. Even the Anaheim game Tuesday night, I wasn't there. I was in Vancouver getting ready for the game. I watched it. Ruby still made some quality saves against a non-playoff team and was one of the 3 stars again. So this is happening game to game to game. And they got to give him a chance to run. He's accustomed to doing this. He's accustomed to playing a high-pressure game. He's taken a team deep into the playoffs. He's been a Vezina candidate. He wants the net. Give him the net. And I've said it, I think if this team will make noise in the playoffs, it'll be with Philip Grubauer. Martin Jones has been a terrific story, and he was really there to support the team when they needed it. He can still be, but he has to be the next option. I don't think he's the option, and I don't think it's a good thing to be vacillating back and forth between 2 guys at this time of the year. I think the team has to get accustomed to being with the number 1, playing in front of the number 1, and recognizing that that's the guy that's got our back. I think that has to happen.
Let's go. I'm fired up, man. Let's go.
That's a great take, because you're right. I mean, this is the guy that's on. This is the guy that we put all of our hopes on, and give him a chance to show. Give him a chance to prove that they made the right choice. He deserves that. And you're right. Consistency is so important, John. And I do hope they in fact make that statement that he gets and we all get.
Then you got to talk about the elephant in the room being that Danny and I started our own the Boone Buddies. Danny and I both for Christmas, John, we got jerseys with Boone's name on the back of it.
Yeah, they're obsessed.
Oh my God. My goodness. Wow. I was having a good day.
How's your relationship with Boone these days? Is it good?
It's really good. It's really good. We did a community event together a couple of weeks ago. It was fantastic.
John's a changed man.
I go day to day with this. I don't have a high level of expectation.
Will you be at the Mascot Madness public skate that's happening on March 17th?
You're probably going to miss that one. Yeah, probably. And I got to see Finn, the Vancouver Canucks mascot last night, and it doesn't even come close to Bowie. Not even in the same neighborhood. No.
And Finn knows to keep his distance, because if you're a mascot, you've got to really walk on eggshells around John Forsland. That's all I'm going to say.
You do?
Yeah.
I could snap at any moment.
But that's why Bowie's on his best behavior.
That's right.
I can't blame him. I mean, it's one of those that hoverboard can only go so fast. John's quick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've seen it in action. So, I mean,
well, John, it's always great to have you on. I do love the idea that, you know what, you're telling us, man, you're believing in Groovy, you're feeling it, and it's exciting to be talking about playoff hockey and the possibility of it.
Possibility of going in as the top seed.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
amazing.
And it's so cool. And John, you've guided us through. You told us the second half of the season was going to be challenging because of the amount of games that we had to play compared to other teams, and that surely looked like it during that tough stretch after the break, because it just looked like a team that was tired and doing a little too much than they should have. And hopefully that schedule evens out a little bit, and I don't know if they've got similar amount of games to some of the folks that they're facing or being faced by in the conference, because I would love that, because I don't like the unfairness of scheduling sometimes. It's like, this is so not cool that we have to go through this grueling situation where other teams do not.
Well, and the last thing I'll leave you guys with is this, and we can stand on this the next time we talk, is there's deep Stanley Cup experience on this roster. And so, they may be Seattle Kraken, but they remember and know how. They have the muscle memory. They remember how it is to play for 2 more months. You got guys who have won multiple cups, 1 cup, have played for the cup. All those experiences carry over. It doesn't matter if you have a different jersey on, so that's the thing I think that's not appreciated enough outside. And I think people will look at the Kraken as a new team in the Stanley Cup playoffs and from the outside and say, wow, what a great story. But the guys in the room, if you're McCann and Eberle and Schultz, who's won 2 cups, and Burakovsky, and Groovy, they understand, okay, playoff time. We know how to get there, and we know what to do when we get there. But that's a story for another day. That's going to be really good when the team makes it.
And shout out to Jared McCann, man. 30-plus goals already, 31 goals on the season. What a season he's had.
He's been great, and Another one of those guys that was happier than could be to sign, first player signed to an extension.
Yep.
I told you at the beginning of the season I felt different energy too around these guys about Seattle. Just the first year was COVID-late and kind of dark, and there's a lot of losing, and they weren't used to each other, and they came back this year, and he's one of those guys that he's proud to be attractive. And there's a whole load of those guys in that room, and I think that's a big part of where they're at right now.
And we're hoping for 6 in a row tonight. John will be calling that game. John Forsman calling it on Root Sports. The Senators coming to town to take on the Crack at the time it said. John, thank you so much for being with us, buddy, and we'll talk to you again. That's the fact.
Okay, boys. Enjoy it as always. What a great day.
All right, here we go. John Forsman on Crack at Thursday.
That's great stuff.
Yeah, it's good to know. Yeah, and I don't think I get through the board, but that's the guy. It's got to go with you. You really do. And you know what? If you'd like to see that kind of stuff on the ice, well, it's Crack on Thursday here in the Rock. All day today, I should say. We started at 7, going all the way to 7 p.m. and we give you an opportunity to see the Crack and play. You want that chance? Just listen to the code word hour, and then you go to KISW.com to enter that code word. This hour. Okay, a little tricky. This hour's code word, hockey. This hour's hockey. You gotta talk it for me. So go to KISW.com, enter the code word hockey, and get yourself a shot at winning Kraken tickets. Yesterday, Steve did get this one wrong.
Which U.S. restaurant chain has the slogan "Service with a Speed Down"?
1140. Denny.
No.
No. Johnny Rocket.
No.
IHOP.
No.
Well, you could have got that if you Jennings it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can Jennings it, and you did eventually.
I don't remember.
Oh, wow, you don't remember what it was?
Made it down,
Yeah.
Sonic.
There we go. Good job, Danny.
I appreciate you guys sticking with me like this. Cracking each stick with Groovy.
Yeah, we did. You know, it's your job to lose before you get there. 206 or 203 Rock. You want to beat MIGS if you do at 847. 99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Well, if you don't know the Seattle Kraken, man, you should know. I mean, they are rolling. They are going. They are trying to get to their first ever postseason. So season 2, not a bad situation. And if you want to witness this journey in person, we have got you covered because this Thursday today is Kraken Thursday on the Rock.
Oh man, all morning long. We start at 7 a.m. and we're going until 7 p.m. every hour, giving away a pair of tickets. Check out the captain and a future game DJ. Send a code word.
All you gotta do is go to the code word, and once you get that code word, make sure you go to KISW.com and enter it. That's how you can get a chance to win. You want all the details, go to KISW.com.
Let's play
Time to play the game. To everybody screaming, don't be a loser.
Happy Friday, Junior, and happy Kraken Thursday.
Hell yeah. That's what we're talking about right there.
I love it.
Release the Kraken.
Oh, Liam Neeson, you sexy beast. Anywho, let's move on to Leah from Shoreline. Leah, are you there? I am here. Awesome. She's out of here.
Goodbye.
For those staying at home, Leah has 60 seconds to answer 10 questions. You can pass all you want, but you only get 3 guesses per question. Are you ready? I'm ready. Also the name of a Burt Reynolds character, what is also the name of Johnny Quest's dog? Which herb shares the same with the face of poison? Who recorded the multi-platinum 1970s album Bat Out of Hell? Oh my god. I don't know that. Facebook was first limited to competing at what university? What is the name of Jack Skellington's ghost bag? I know this one.
We're paying for all that nice water we had last
Who won
month.
the 2016 Oscar for Best Actor?
Paul Rudd?
No.
11.
Johnny Depp. Nope. I'm not off the test. Is the mayor of the city in which state?
Leah? Let's go. You got my princess.
Yeah, I've heard that joke before, thank you. It's okay, I get the icky-bicky all the time, so we're fine.
You don't want to hear jokes, maybe you should do a little better. Who said that? Cut that out.
That's not nice.
It's not nice to Leah. Come on.
What the hell is going on right now?
You just being mean.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was the voiceover there. It wasn't me.
Are you ready, Steve?
All right.
Also the name of a Burt Reynolds character. What is also the name of Johnny Quest's dog?
Smoke. The bear.
No.
It was... Oh, crap. What else was he in? I can't even think. I'll come back.
Which herb shares its name with the place where coins are made?
Bang.
No.
Mint.
Yes. Who recorded the multi-platinum album, 1970s album, Bat Out of Hell?
That out Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Indeed.
What actress played Dracula's Wilson twice in The Shining? Facebook was first limited to students at what university?
Harvard.
Correct. What is the name of Jack Skellington's ghost dog?
Jack Dog.
No. Who won the 2016 Oscar for Best Actor?
2016? I don't know. Will Smith.
Nope.
Tom Cruise.
Nope.
Liam Neeson.
Nope. Actor Clint Eastwood was the mayor of the city in which state?
Texas.
No.
California.
Yeah. What did you say? That was enough for a win.
Oh, great.
Better than you, though. Not too much better.
Not at all. What's the question? Dismal performance by both of you, but unfortunately he won.
That's okay.
There you go. Okay, there better be a reason why we should know this 2016 book.
Right, that was a very weird question.
There better be a reason, and I'm trying to think of controversial.
Not controversial, but it was one of those like, oh, he's never gonna get it. He's never gonna do it.
You know it if you didn't know.
Because all the
2016. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure, means.
But how do you know it's 2016 though? Like, how would you know that that's what it was referring to?
I would know, like, based on me being at the question asker, like, oh, there's a reason why.
17.
There has to be something they want to reason.
No, you mean based on me?
Yeah, we already have it.
Alright.
He had never won any
For the
before.
Bear?
Yeah, for the Bear one. So that was the ongoing. He's never gonna win. He's never gonna win the Oscar, no matter how many good performances. And Will Smith has never won an Oscar.
I don't think.
I think he has recently.
I don't think you'll do it.
No, I don't think so. I call it. But then I say that, it's a little listen to, like, you know, obviously a wrestling podcast, but it kind of relates in a sense because suppose like a guy like got hurt with the big episode, like, hey, like wrestling something from like 1983, oh, that was SummerSlam 87 and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, I'm a massive fan of wrestling, but how do you remember these guys? Year, like this.
Oh, I don't question him. I question Vicky because I don't think she'd remember it.
People have like a weird thing, like some people will remember things like dates and all that.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's impressive. Yeah. I wish I had that. I don't.
If you had that, you wouldn't be you. You'd be a different person.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they'd
Be better with dates.
Yeah, but then you'd also maybe not be that, you know, you're trying to selfish here.
Thank you. Coming on this morning, I had a hard time remembering what month we were in and what was the question.
Yeah,
Like, I knew that the dancer was this month. I just couldn't remember what month we were in.
There's charm there.
And you were really close with the name Burt Reynolds' character and Johnny
I
Quest.
forgot the name of
the movie.
I smoked in the bear. I think.
Yeah.
But it's DJ and the bear, and then the smoking in the bear.
Yeah.
Then
good,
it's
that's
also
good.
one of the characters from Blues.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Hey.
Another clue you can throw in there next time for Johnny Quest's dog. Dad's name is Bandit? Yeah, Bandit. What's his mother's name? A weird name to give to his dad.
They're all, you know, kind of dog names, like
Bandit.
Bandit.
Here, boy. How about that, then? Is that a good weird name?
Her name was Chili.
Chili?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've never even heard of anybody called a dog Chili before.
It might be an Australian thing, because it is an Australian show.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, they're not owned by humans, man. They live in their own world.
Somebody, if you're not owned by humans, you don't give yourself a name change. Because that's a human.
What's the kind of change?
Well, why would parents do that if they're not, if they're, you know what I mean? Why would you go with the human slave name? Because that's Bandit's a human name. Well, that's if you're saying that humans didn't do it.
Right? Well, I mean, they're named by, because their name named Bluey and their name Dingo.
Early bingo, I get. Those seem like,
So bingo again in Billiard Wheels?
Yeah, bingo is also, I think, a human name. I've heard that before. Bingo, ringo, all that stuff.
Okay.
But Louis,
My luck is true.
it's true, it is.
I'm checking out Louis Comics.
You brought it up, you should check it out.
I didn't know we were going down this road.
I didn't know either.
I hope you change the subject. One that you did not get, but Leah did. What actress played Jack Nicholson's wife in The Shining? It was Shelley Duvall.
Who wouldn't get that?
Danny, what is the name of Jack Skellington's ghost dog?
Zero.
Mm-hmm.
No, I wouldn't know that.
Yeah, and I think Fox
I
is
wouldn't.
the name too. Yeah.
Nope.
I want to remember that, my name.
And you eventually did get the Clint Eastwood was a mayor in the city in California. The city was named Caramel by the Sea.
No, it's Carmel.
Carmel by the Sea.
No,
but
it's
some
Carmel, not caramel.
I said Carmel the second time.
Oh, there we go.
I agreed with you.
Yeah, I've been there. It's a good little joint. Fun little destination if you're traveling south from San Francisco and all that area.
Do they have good caramel though?
Get the fuck off my ass!
They do. I'm not sure they know they should.
Right?
Well, I don't know if they're known for that so much, to be honest.
Right.
He had an ice cream store too there.
But that'd be from the messenger. They come on, come to Carmel and have our caramel. Carmel caramel.
It's very possible. I don't remember it. I remember Clint Eastwood's ice cream.
Couldn't you see that ice cream?
I think he had an ice cream joint before he was mayor.
Good.
Yeah, you know what? Absolute power. You know what? If you can run an ice cream shop, you can run Carmel.
One's more honest.
Oh, you mean, yeah. All right, well, it is time for you. You can change the entire conversation. You pick the topic. 206-803-ROCK. It's listeners on the loose. What do you want to talk about? You can call us or text us. 206-803-ROCK. Your calls, your texts. 917 on the Rock.